Happy birthdays as well. You always find the latest courtyard permanent solution. Out of the box.
Hello and welcome to Radio Waves by Todderbert. In front of us we have the Elecrow ThinkNode M5 Meshtastic Transceiver with GPS and real-time clock. You can find this selling on Elecrow.com for $53.90. I'll have links down below for you guys if you're interested. They also have a twin pack. It'll save you a little bit of money. So what's it come with? Well, let's check it out. ThinkNode M5. Now, I didn't know what this was. I didn't know what Meshtastic was. I didn't understand this little symbol. I thought that was AI backwards for the longest time. And yeah, I just kind of overlooked this, and I didn't know what it was about until I started reading, and I'm really interested in this technology, and I thought I'd introduce this to the channel, and it might be a regular thing you see on this channel as well. So let's take a look. So ThinkNode M5, high gain. It's got the Meshtastic app compatibility, location, battery capacity, 1200 milliamp hour. It's got low power modes, LoRa, long range transceiver, nice. There's a picture of it without the enclosure. It runs on a microcontroller, ESP32S3, nice. And I think that's about it. They don't give you much documentation. You have to kind of learn as you go with this. But I'll try to get you a little bit of knowledge so you know what to expect. Look at everything out of this little plastic box they give you. That's kind of nice to protect everything. So in the box, we get the star of the show, the radio, cool. We get the antenna, little guy. Now you always want to install your antenna before you turn the radio on, so we'll do that right now. Now if you notice it says 915M, so that is the frequency. It's running on the 33 centimeter band. Yeah, 915 megahertz. That's the US. Now the Europe, they get around, I think, 868. Don't quote me on that, but something like that. Right on that range. Also, we get a charging cable to charge the device. Just a simple USB to USB-C, and also to upgrade the firmware. We get the sticker, which, like, again, I thought said AI backwards. Oh, it's AI powered. Not really. It's Meshtastic powered. That's an M. Yeah, I didn't get it at first either. We have some O-rings. Now, I didn't install these because I'm not going outside with this yet, but these are O-rings for your antenna. Kind of give it a little dust tight, water resistance. Good idea. Then we get a little instruction manual, which is really basic. So here we go. We'll go over it real quick. And then we'll go over the features of the radio and get right into having some demo fun with it. Okay, so as you can see, it's a very simple device. And that's what makes it fun. Now, they even have less cost devices out there you can pick up. You can have a ball with this. So there you go. There's that. Over here, what they do, the rotary switch, the GPS switch. It's kind of cool. You can enable and disable GPS. And there you are. So you're probably asking yourself, what is Meshtastic and is it for me? Well, Meshtastic is an awesome off-the-grid communications protocol if you're into that type of thing. If you want to operate a device where you can use it in an off-grid scenario where there's no Wi-Fi, no cell service, you're able to use these devices with your phone to text messages back and forth to your, say, teammates or campsite, wherever you're at. There's even local meshes around my area, and I can pick up Chicago, too, about 40 miles away from me. Pretty awesome. On the back here, we got some more information. There you go. Again, this doesn't tell you a whole lot, so let's go ahead and just toss that aside, and we'll talk about the radio. So yeah, this is just fun, and we'll explain it as we go. If Meshtastic is for you, or if it's fun, if it's something to tinker with, I'm happy to discover it. Now, I am a ham radio operator. You do not need a ham radio license to operate this, which is fantastic. Anybody could use it. If you transmit over 1 watt, I believe you do have to have a ham license, and then you have to take encryption off. This does have encryption, by the way, which is nice, so nobody can read your messages easily. I'm not sure if they can hack it or not, but they say it's fairly secure for basic transmission, so treat it like that, just as a hobby. So yeah, I was reading up on this, and I'm like, yeah, I like the idea to introduce this for somebody that doesn't really want to get a ham radio license, but wants to have some, backup preparations just in case. They even employ these in emergency situations to help with networks that are down. So yeah, pretty cool. So let's go ahead and talk about dimensions of the radio. We have 4 3/4 inches in height. And what's the antenna here? Let's just measure that real quick to be sure I did that right. Got a little tape measure. I should have measured it with the antenna. Yep, there you go. Because it's fixed on there, you got to use that antenna. It's 2 inches wide, and we got 1 inch in thickness. So let's do a comparison with other radios. We always have our little pocket radio, CC Pocket. So you can see it's a really small device. think of it as your little helper. This node, it's kind of cool. It can act as a client. It can act as a router, repeater. Yeah, it's really cool what you can set it up for. So there you go, CC Pocket in the house. What else we got hanging around? We usually have like a Skywave. There you go. Scan. And then we have, what else over here? We have a deck of cards. Iron Man, he's the man with the master plan. He loves little long-range radios from Elecrow land. Awesome. You get the idea, right? Cool. So let's go over functions of the radio, and then we will start demoing it and show you what you can do. So, all right. So you saw me put the antenna on. Pretty basic. It is a RP SMA, so if you're wondering, it doesn't take standard SMA connector. I don't know if you can see that. This is like the protocol for Wi-Fi. You can see how that's set up there. But yeah, this is RP SMA. So if you're wondering, that's the kind of antenna you need if you want to upgrade this antenna here, which is possible with a lot of radios. Like I said, there's a bunch of different companies making these, and this one just stands out as being a good beginner radio. I really like the screen, which we're going to talk about. So it's an ABS enclosure, which is great because it's one of the few companies that does this. ABS enclosures are a nice and finished product, I believe. It looks good, classy. A lot of them are just 3D printed and kind of cheesy. This looks nice. I like it. I like the size of this device too as well as we go. So our screen, it is a e-paper screen. I really like this too as well because you can read it in direct sunlight like your Kindles, right? So, and it's also backlit if we turn it on. We just turn it on right now for you guys. And you got a backlight. There you go. You can turn it up. If it's dark, you can see what's going on. Here's our boot screen. I'm running the firmware it came with. I didn't upgrade it, so there you go. And then it's doing its little refreshes, and it's talking to my phone here. So, but I'll turn this back off. But yeah, there you go. Cool. And yeah, because if they have their GPS enabled, it'll tell you which direction they're coming from, but they have it off, so that's okay. Over down here was our power LED. Turns red when the radio's on, flashes when you're charging it, and also flashes if it has low power. Over here is a blue light. Usually designates that there's transmission going on, but I haven't seen it really flash. Usually the screen does a little refresh. I don't usually see this flash. The only way to get this to flash is to do the SOS function, which I'm not going to really perform on here. But it has like a little siren, buzzer, and these flash back and forth. I don't think it does any transmission. I think it's just an audible siren. But yeah, 1.5 inch screen. I really like that screen. You saw the backlight. Going to the right side of the radio, we got the GPS on and off. People like this because they can make sure they're physically not broadcasting their GPS with their device, or they are. They want to be located. So this is nice for on a mesh, and you're camping and you get lost. And you just text somebody, hey, I'm lost. Can you track me down with my GPS? And that'll help, definitely. So yeah, having this is good. Now, of course, it doesn't replace a better radio for carrying if you're hiking alone and many miles. You may want to invest like an emergency type, 2-meter type radio. But this is just in case if you have people nearby. It's good to have an emergency as well. But yeah, turn the GPS on and off. GPS off if you're just doing casual. You don't want people to know where you're sitting in your house. That's a good thing. Here we have a couple buttons. This button here is your, what do we call this? The function button. You single click it to send a ping across the network, which I'm not going to show you, but it sends an ad hoc ping. Says, hey, I'm here. Hello, anybody out there? Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't. You can double click it to turn off that backlight, which is nice to save power. You want to do that, I'm sure. And triple click initiates that SOS alarm. Long press for standby mode. So you long press it and it puts it into sleep mode, which doesn't do anything. It just kind of puts it to sleep, and you can just tap it to unwake it. That's nice. You don't have to keep turning this on and off physically up here. Just long press the button. The button below this is a page function button. You just press this to go through the different pages, and you can see in the bottom there, it's showing about 6 pages you can access. And it usually has like a GPS page, a battery status page, telemetry, and then it'll have different nodes you hit and any messages you received. So that's pretty cool. Loving that. That's what you use with that button there. They call this your page button. So there you go. We have a lanyard hook point right there. Okay, it does not come with a lanyard, but it's okay. It says ThinkNode at the bottom, and at the bottom here we have the USB-C to charge the radio. It has an internal 1200 milliamp hour battery, and over here we have a reset button. If your device becomes locked, you can hit the reset, which is nice. And sometimes you hit the reset when you go to flash your firmware as well. Very simple. This on-off switch is also an aluminum knob, which I find nice, and of course does that brightness control. The back of the radio has a little sticker and little mounting points for a belt clip, though they don't give you that clip. I wish they would have. That would have been nice. But there you go. So I have a little sheet for some information here, which we're going to go over real quick. I think it'll be fun just to do a basic overview on the device, and then we'll get into demoing this product. Yeah, so let's go ahead, move this out of the way, and bring this in. This tells us quite a bit. Now, they have different models. They have this is the M5. This is the one we have here on the radio we're showing. They have an M1. Now, the differences between the M5 and the M1, these are the ones we're going to really look at, because I'm not sure if they carry the M2 anymore, is the processor. The S3 is more powerful and uses a lot more battery. I noticed on my radio, I get about 8 to 9 hours at the most on mine, so it's kind of like I have to charge it quite often. Now, this one here, you might get more than a day, 24 hours. So that's really good, but it's running at a lower CPU rate, which might make the receiver a little laggish. So some people getting started might want the higher S3 module just to get things going, just to have a nice little primer. Maybe later on get a unit that has the longer runtime. I've seen many people on YouTube, they prefer to have one of these devices and then they have more of these S3s. Probably because these are less expensive. I'm not sure, but I do see that. Like they'll have one of these and then maybe like a multiples of the S3s. Just what I see. Probably because they do like maybe like a node where they do the router mode or repeater mode, which is nice. But you can see there's more memory here. You can hold more messages. We just go down the line. You can kind of just see what's going on there. They both have the electronic ink screens. They're both the same price, by the way, too. Both say the same battery. Okay, one thing to note, the S3 does have support for Wi-Fi, while the Nordic does not. It also supports Bluetooth Low Energy and 5.0. The Nordic has a Bluetooth 5.4, so a little upgrade there. They both have the SX1262 LoRa transceiver chip built into it. As you can see, US is set to 915 and European is 868. I was right on that. Good. Megahertz. They both have the Type-C RP-SMA interface. Okay. They both carry the GPS, so again, all the same stuff, real-time clock, the built-in buzzer. Things that a lot of these don't have. Some of the inexpensive kits. Okay, so they're all showing pretty much the same there. I don't want to bog down too much. I want to have some fun. We're going to turn these on and have a good time just demoing a little bit the different programs that you download to your device so it can communicate and you can talk across the mesh, which is awesome. Power consumption, as you can see, quite a bit more here on the S3 versus the Nordic. Now, I know it's in the same column, but I just forgot to move this over. This should be like, this line should be here. But it gives you an idea. This is the S3 power. This is the Nordic power. Okay. You get the idea and everything else right there. All right, so that's done with that. So let's go ahead. We're going to bring in a card here so we can kind of see what's going on my screen. So I'm going to bring in my phone. But first of all, we're going to work this my iPad here. I got a page up. This is Meshtastic.org. You want to go to this site, and you're going to learn about it because I can't do it all in one video. And you can learn a lot from watching YouTube, or just go right here and start reading. This is like an introduction to show you how the mesh works. It's very simple. Your phone just acts as an interface. Bluetooth. That's all you're doing is you're connecting Bluetooth to your device, and now you can connect over to mesh. You do not need, like I said, Wi-Fi or your phone service on, which is fantastic. It sends it to your node, and your node then sends it to the mesh. Any nearby will then repeat it to the other ones. And they call it hops. So if you're trying to get to this guy over here, you have to make 3 hops. It would be 1, 2, and then the third hops right there. So to get to it, well, actually, that'd be technically 2 hops. 1, 2, and then final destination. And so you can see all these form a mesh. These are different devices too, by the way, if you're wondering. I think it's a Seed without a display, Seed brand. This is the M5 right here. Cool. And then you can see other devices as well. So yeah, this is a neat little setup. You can do router mode, client mode. They recommend sticking with the client mode. That works the best for the service. But it's got an introduction, as you can read there. It's Meshtastic.org. I showed you guys that. There you go. And you can go through a tutorial on who made this. It's open source. They got a record here, 331 kilometers. Wow, that's pretty good, long range. That's pretty cool for like 1 watt, unless they're using 10 watts as a ham radio. I think ham radio, you up to 10 watts. But I haven't really looked into the ham radio portion of it. But yeah, just doing it for more like the person wants to have fun. But you can see all the different things. Getting started is very basic. So yeah, let's go ahead and show you the app. So we're going to show you on my phone. So you guys remember this phone here. This is the Android. Oop, I gotta connect, turn on my radios. Let's turn them on. All right. So I've already paired my Meshtastic app to this radio. So what you do is you download your Meshtastic app to your device, Android or Apple. I'm using an Android phone here. And then you'll pair it with your node. And it'll come up like a little code and you put it in there. And you can name it, whatever, do it your fun. So right now it should be connecting to it. There we go. This one's called Todd's Shack. I named it Todd's Shack. But yeah, this is cool. Of course, you can have multiple nodes, but pretty much you want to do one node per one device. So I have an iPad off to my left, which also has the Meshtastic software, which looks really good on there, by the way, which we'll try to hit in this video. But as you can see, here we are. We'll just zoom this up a little bit, see what we can fit on camera. Okay. So yeah, you can turn off this light. So the light's on right now, so we can just double tap the, there we go, turn the light off because we don't need it. But that's nice, it just saves power. Right now we are transmitting, and we can go through those pages, see what's going on. So you can kind of see Toddtastic, that's my other one. So it saw them. So they have different modes, long, fast, medium, fast. It's just the way it sends and receives. Pretty much long fast is the best, unless you're on a mesh where they say medium fast is better. Depending on how congested the network is, you might find yourself reducing the speed at which you're transmitting and the range you need. And of course, there's no GPS because we didn't switch it on. Here it says battery voltage, 100%. Time on, 1 minute. Utilization, no GPS present. Again, we have that off. So yeah, that's kind of neat. It has a little page there of information. The bottom again. Okay, so we'll go here. So right on. So there's that, and here's the app. So the app is a lot of fun. There's a lot of options you can do with the app. I don't want to get too deep, but the big one is you go to your configuration, you go to your lower radio. That's this, and you can configure it to your region. There's the United States. What mode you want to run? Long, fast. Again, it's long, fast is usually the one you want to go with, unless otherwise. MQ2TT. I think that's the Wi-Fi interface if you have internet connection. If you want to go longer distances, it's kind of nice. Transmit enabled. Override duty cycle. That's, I think, for Europe mainly. I don't know why it's off here, but we could probably enable that later. But yeah, let's go ahead and leave it how it is. I'll leave it stock. Number of hops, 3. They recommend leaving it at 3. So that's good. They say that is the best for most cases. We have frequency slot. There's different, you can read up on the channels and how frequencies work, and override which frequency you're on, and your transmit power. This pretty much equals 1 watt. It's 30 dBs, so there you go. And boosted gain, so all right. So we can get out of that. That's the setting up the radio. That's very basic. Okay, so we have the channels. You can set permissions on the channels. You can encrypt, which is nice. So it uses the, I'm trying to think of the encryption code, the 256. AES, I believe. Yeah. So you can encrypt your messages if you're not a ham radio operator running it in ham mode using higher power. So you're able to encrypt your messages. So it gives a little bit of privacy on your channel, which is good. So you don't have to be chiming in or hacking you. So something to know. But it's cool that it has it. Love it. So, all right. And of course, you can change your username for the device. A position. You can also use your phone's GPS. So if you buy a radio without GPS, you're able to use the phone's GPS to the radio, and it'll send that telemetry if you want it to or not. So that's good to know. Power, network, display. So you can do all these different things with the device. So again, I'm not going to go too crazy here because pretty much everything that it comes with is all you need to know. I didn't like this thing buzzing every time I got a message, so I turned off the external notifications. So that's turned off, I believe. Well, it may not be on this one, but it's on the other one for sure. Okay, so there you go. You can back up your information if you're upgrading. You can administer from like if you have a remote location. Pretty nice. And there you go. So that gives you the idea there. Let's go and have some fun. Let's see what kind of nodes it found. So we're on Todd's Shack, and we'll go ahead. We'll turn on my other one. I'm going to turn on this guy here. I got 2, as you can see. There's that buzzer. Yeah, I mean, it's cool that it has it. Let that one boot up. We're using the same firmware, 2.64. They're up to 2.73, I think. So don't quote me on that, but yeah. Let's go ahead and just turn the screen off here, and we'll send ourselves some messages, and just do final thoughts on why you want this. So we'll go ahead and just double tap. I think it's lower. Okay, I forget. I think it takes a bit to get before it lets me turn that off. There we go. All right, so what we could do is we could send a message real quick. Let's do that. Let's send a message. So, all right, we're going to go to out of here to go to the bottom. We got some buttons here at the bottom. Okay, we're going to go to the chat menu. So we got 2 channels. We got long, fast. That's the public one. Just remember that. There's a public one, 0. So anything you put there is public. So something to keep in mind. And here we have Todd time. Yeah. As you can see, radio wave rocks. And I was talking back and forth. Yes, it does. Radio test, test. I was testing to make sure everything was working. Testing, testing, yo. 1.5 mile transmission test. I was outside walking, so that was cool. And off the grid rocks. So you get the idea, right? So we'll type a message to this channel. Whatever node you have on here will receive it. I only have the 2, so let's send it. So one should receive, right? So let's bring up our keyboard. And I'm going to say just hi. Something simple, right? It's all we need. Now it's going to do a little cloud symbol and it acknowledges and it'll get sent. And it did really fast. So as you can see here, it says hi. Awesome. You get the idea, right? It's that simple. And of course, it went to my iPad as well, which we're going to bring up here. Going to load that app up. And then you can see it. Just got to make sure I connect. Because we got a question mark there, and that's because the app's probably not loaded up. So we're just going to make sure we're loaded. And I'm going to show you the node map and the nodes that we have on the node that we've. I mean, just in a matter of like a day or two, you'll load up almost 100 different people, which is amazing where I live anyway. So mainly getting some repeaters downtown, which is pretty neat. Hitting down there. So, okay, so I have my iPad over here to my left. I'm just going to message back. So I'm going to go to my messages. I'm going to access the Todd Time channel on this iPad. And then I'm going to say something back here. And we'll see what happens. Oh, I forgot to hit send. I'm like waiting. It's the silence. There we go. And as you can see, it does this like flash on the screen. And it came up here high back. And it also showed it on here as well. Now, if you had your buzzer enabled, it would be buzzing at you, telling you got your message. You got to hit a button to stop it from beeping. But it says high back. Nice. You get the idea, right? It's a simple, kind of like the, packet service that the ham radios have always had, 2 meter. So yeah, it's similar to that. It's just this is more for like the casual, fun hobbyist who doesn't want to get a ham radio license. They just want to have some fun. And then have off-the-grid comms too. Yeah, and it does really long distances. 3 to 4 miles, they say, with the setup in an urban area, and up to 7 to 10 miles in a rural area from line of sight. That's pretty good for a small antenna like this. Impressed. And if you have a hill or a mountain blocking, you can always put a repeater or a node just like this at the top of the mountain. So then you got that height. So you have to communicate to that height distance versus the distance to the other one. So so you can hop over mountains that would block your line of sight. It's that simple of a thing. Just put a third node up and off you go. And again, these can be had for really cheap. I mean, this is $50, and this is like the premium one. This has a lot going on for it. I mean, you don't have to have GPS. You don't have to have a lot of these functions. A lot of people will just run it off a power bank, solar-powered power bank or something like that, and yeah, run their radios using that, and be able to spend less money. It just depends on what you want to do and have fun with. So yeah. But there you go. It's in a nutshell. It's off the grid communication. It's encrypted. So right now I'm on a private channel, which is great. I can go to a public channel, so let's change channels. Let's see, I'm not sure how to do it here. Up here. So I hit Todd Time. Where to go to? Here we go. Long, fast. We'll go to the public channel. I think there's only 3 messages there. Have a good afternoon, mesh. Howdy, howdy. That's all they pretty much say. It's pretty basic stuff on the public mesh. So let's go ahead and show you the iPad. This is the fun part. This is for one of my nodes here, so let's go ahead and bring it in. This is for Toddtastic. Yep. And the iPad's pretty cool because it will show you a neat little satellite view. Let me just bring it up. First, we got nodes. You can select a node, hit the button over here. A little button on the iPad. I prefer the iPad's interface better. Here we go. So we got Toddtastic 001. Here's Todd Shack 002. Okay, showing they're powered up. Okay. So we got these different people, if they're on or not. and you can just kind of scroll through a list. And if you want to see something about them, you can click their little profile. Like this person with the GPS enabled probably has information. There you go. They're using a LilyGo T-Echo. And you can look at the support for their model. And that's a pretty high voltage there. I don't know why that's so high, but it might just be a glitch. But they have different telemetry and different things. So they have like wind speed, pressure, humidity, wind. So that's, or temperature. So that's pretty cool. Node map. So they're on the map. So let's go to the map here. So up on top here, we got mesh map. We'll hit that. And here we go. Downtown Chicago is where all the action is happening with this. So we can zoom out. There you go. And here we are, northern Chicago area. Well, actually, that's downtown Chicago, but northern Illinois. Bring it out. Now, it's not showing. I had to refresh my node. It was too many nodes or something going on. I had to refresh it. But I had a guy down here, middle estate. I had a few in Michigan, and I actually had somebody in Tennessee over here. That was kind of cool. So that was probably somebody over Wi-Fi. But here I'm just on the mesh only, and I'm picking up all these people downtown. So if you see the flashing here, that means they're active. So there's an active mesh there. Active mesh node. So they're all just nodes. It's pretty cool. You click them, and it brings up their details. You can open compass. That gives you direction. They're to the southeast, and that's where Chicago is from me. And of course, you can just turn your device to point to that direction. There you go, and that's, I believe, pointing to true north. Wait, no, it's not north. Hold on a second. That would be towards my radio, I think. Yeah, my radio's right there. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and back it up. All right, go down. Swipe that down. Yeah, so this is the best part, is using this map, and it does the whole world. So it's not just this one little area, but this is my local mesh, so that's what we're going to pick up. I had somebody in Wisconsin too, but they're not there anymore because I had to refresh my list. But once in a while they'll pop up. But you can zoom quite far down. Let's go all the way down. As you can see, we got the building views. That's pretty cool. All in this app. All right, so that's it. We'll go ahead and just zoom that out there. You get the idea, right? You got globe, Earth. You could spin it, see what's going on in other countries, which I'm not hooked up to. But again, if you're doing the Wi-Fi thing, which I don't want to. I want to stay off the grid. Off the grid is good. And right back downtown. There it is. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and talk about the device and do final thoughts. So there goes the iPad. All right, so let's go ahead. Bring the little guys back in, the M5s, yeah. So, likes, dislikes, and my final opinion. Well, likes, compact size. Really like the size of these things. Absolutely fantastic. Easy to carry, put in a pocket, and off you go. Now, you can walk away from your phone or your device. It's still going to send and receive messages. You just can't, of course, create messages with this device. Now, there are certain ones out there that have a keyboard built into them, but they're all self-contained. Could be cool. Maybe not, just depends. It just makes it a little harder to upgrade or build for. So keep in mind, it's better probably to start with a node in your phone versus one of those all-in-one devices. But they are available if that curiosity, you want to do something like that. But here, you get the node, you're ready to rock. It's compact. It's easy to put anywhere, which is nice. Built-in battery. Okay, that's a big deal because a lot of these sell without batteries. You have to make your own setup, which I like the fact that it comes with a battery to get you going. I like the paper display. I think that's really nice. They have OLED ones, which are good. But I'm telling you, if you're outside in bright sunlight, this is so easy to read. This is what you want. Definitely if you're using this outside all the time, which I recommend. Your status LEDs. This is good to know what's going on with your battery, especially when you use an S3 chip like the one that's in here. Decent range. This is fantastic. Being able to shoot a couple miles. I'm able to pick up my wife downtown. We should go in shopping. That's nice in case something happens. I want her to start carrying a node. Okay, screen paused. That's why that flickered, if you're wondering. GPS, Wi-Fi, I think that's neat. Real-time clock functions, all really cool. That's all in there. And of course, the ability to turn GPS on and off here with the device. You can have GPS on and have it like a diluted GPS, so it doesn't give you exact location. It gives a location, say, within 3 miles. So you could do that. People don't know your exact location, but they have an idea of your area. And that may be something you want to do. Okay, what else? It's a fun hobby band. The ISM band is Industrial Scientific Medical, and it uses these little packets to send the information. I think it's cool. I think it's just fun. 900 megahertz in the US. It's just a fun thing to play with. 1 watt of power, and just it gets pretty far distance with these little packets. Love it. What else do I like? I like the Enclosure, the ABS plastic. Again, it's nice, it's polished, and of course it's a quality build. Can't fault it anywhere. Yep, solid build. What else do I like about it? Pairs well with my $29 smartphone. So you buy one of these devices, just go to Walmart and buy one of these for 29 bucks. Boom, you got yourself a setup. If you don't have a phone that you want to use with it, like I don't want to use my primary phone with this, I want a backup phone with it, so I'll use this with this as my backup comms. And yeah, just pick yourself up a nice smartphone for 29 bucks from Walmart and pair it with that. That's a like. Pairs with those devices pretty easily. Dislikes and wants. A quicker page function. So like when I hit the... What's this on screen? There we go. When I hit this button, sometimes it doesn't respond fast enough. You have to wait. So I like the idea that if it would be a little quicker and not take so long to respond, but I believe it's a display function of the paper display because I believe the OLEDs are much more responsive. But I'm okay with this, so there you go. High bag, nice. But it's one dislike. It kind of bugged me a little bit. I'm like, come on, you get excited because you can do the phone really fast, but you can't hit the button real fast here. So that's one of those things. You might want to go with the M1 route because of the lower power, because it'll make your battery last a lot longer. If you're just sitting there and you're texting once in a while, and this is sitting on your shelf, or you're carrying it a long hike, you can be without power for a day or so, you don't have a power bank backup, you might want to go with the M1 where it has the lower power chip, so you're using less CPU to run everything. It might run a little slower, but you'll get the messages out and receive them and then use less battery. So it's something to think about. So overall, the M5 is a great starter radio into this hobby of Meshtastic. There's also, Mesh Core out there, I've heard. I believe these radios are capable of using that as well. Mesh Core relies on routers, but Meshtastic relies on nodes. So sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. Just depends on your use case scenario. I'd recommend going with Meshtastic first. See how you like it, get your feet wet, have a little fun. Say hi to your neighbors. Say, hey, what's going on? You can be anonymous. You don't have to tell people who you are, so that's cool. And you can have fun with that and then move on to the other ones, the other services if you feel so you need to, or just stay with Meshtastic. Just depends on your area. Great starter radio. I like the build quality. They offer quite a bit for your money here. You're making a little investment of 50 bucks. Totally worth it. When I see some of these other devices for like 20 bucks, then you have to add a battery, then you have to add a GPS module, and you still don't have a case that looks this nice, and you're already like 40 bucks. So yeah, you need a battery, just all those extra things. And here it's all put together for you really nice and compact. So definitely a recommended buy. There you go. So give it up for the G5. M5. Spent a lot of time on this, but just hopefully you get a general idea what you can have and do with these radios. So yeah, get yourself a pair, save yourself some money because you're going to want two, of course. One for a friend, one for your wife, one for whoever. If you got a son or a daughter that's into this stuff, then you can share with them too. I just think it's a fun way to communicate off the grid. I love that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like if you did. 2, if you like these Meshtastic products and want to see more, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon. I am going to feature more. Definitely going to start talking more about Meshtastic and different devices, different brands out there. Maybe others from Elecrow as well as they come out with them. So maybe I'll get myself an M1 to show you that and see how my thoughts on the M5 versus the M1 and how that works out. We'll have to go over that. So definitely subscribe to the bell icon, get notified of those reviews and videos. And of course, 3, comment down below what you think about Meshtastic. Do you already have this? Have you been doing it for the last 3-4 years? It's been out for a little while. I just didn't know anything about it till now. Let me know what you guys are doing with it, or is this your first introduction to Meshtastic, and are you interested? And if you want to know more, just comment below. I'll have links to all these things, like meshtastic.org, to this product, just so you get an idea for a start. The biggest thing you can do is just go to meshtastic.org and just read and see if it's for you. All right? Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in my next awesome video.